Hi, I'm Lindsay Mama O'Neill, and I have been invited by Reviewed.com to check out the Thermomix T5, this bad boy over here, and put it up against the Instapot Duo Plus. Today, to test them out, I'm going to make a BLT risotto. I'm so excited to get started, so let's get cooking. The first thing we're going to do is put the Instapot on saute. Now, what makes everything better? Butter. Then we're going to add in the pancetta, and of course the pancetta, which is the B in our BLT risotto. You really can do everything in this except for what the Thermomix does, which is chop up your items. Now that I have the Parmesan grated, I'm going to add in garlic and shallots. Do you hear that? It's already starting to sizzle. It is time for the rice. So we're going to put 1 1/3 cup of rice. You want to add in the wine a little bit at a time. So as you see, it steams up. So now we have 1 1/4 cups of broth, beef broth, 1 3/4 cups of water. I'm also going to put about 3/4 of my Parmesan cheese in and stir it until it's incorporated. The Parmesan cheese is nice and salty, so I only have to add a pinch of salt. I'm going to cook this for 8 minutes on high, and my risotto will be ready. So let's try this risotto made in our Instapot. That's perfect. I mean, it's perfectly cooked. It's not too mushy. It's not burnt at all on the bottom. It's much easier than making it by hand. And it's just as fun because while it's cooking, you can drink your wine. It's salted perfectly because of the Parmesan and the pancetta and the little pinch of salt that I put in. The acid from the tomatoes and the arugula really cut through that savory, full flavor of the pancetta and the Parmesan. The beef broth and the water that it cooked in, along with the butter, really add to the complexity of the flavors and give it a nice umami flavor. I mean, this is really a phenomenal recipe in the Instapot. The only thing that I'd say about the Instapot, it didn't chop my food for me in the prepping time frame before we started cooking. That's really the only downside that I see so far to using the Instapot for making this BLT risotto recipe. Now, let's try out the Thermomix. Let's get started with the Parmesan cheese. I need to weigh approximately 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces of Parmesan cheese into the Thermomix. So we're going to put this on for 3 minutes at 212 degrees on stir speed. There we go. Now, what makes everything better? Butter. We're going to saute at 2 minutes at 250 degrees at speed 1. We have about half of a shallot that we're going to put into the Thermomix and 2 cloves of garlic. We're going to chop for 5 seconds on the speed 5. And we need 10 ounces of rice. And we need 10 ounces of beef stock. So let's get this cooking for 3 minutes at 250 with reverse speed 1. We have 15 ounces of water, pink Himalayan sea salt, all right, so while this is cooking, I would love to chop up some of this delicious arugula. And then with the tomatoes, you just want to get them small enough so that they don't look too big and clunky. So let's see how the Thermomix did in making my BLT risotto. All that's left to do is to try it. This Thermomix did a great job of making BLT risotto. I could eat this entire plate, the entire bowl full of this risotto. It's so good. It's salty, it's savory, it's fresh and bright with those tomatoes and the arugula that add a little bit of acid. It has the perfect amount of cheese. The beef stock and the wine obviously really add the umami flavors to this dish. It's really, really good. And I'm super impressed with the Thermomix, how quick and easy it was to make this risotto. So would I spend $1,500 on a really great risotto maker? I don't know, but I would spend $1,500 on the Thermomix that would make so many different things. It would make my life in the kitchen so much easier. So yes, the amortized value of the Thermomix, if you used it every day, is 100% worth it. If you're just looking to make really good risotto, I'd stick to the Instapot. For more reviews on awesome kitchen appliances and more, please check out reviewed.com.